Hello and welcome. I'm a hotel AI expert, and it's a real pleasure to be here with all of you, the students of Europe Hotel School, as you begin this part of your online learning journey. We're about to explore something that's not just a future concept, but a present-day reality, how artificial intelligence is reshaping the very core of hospitality. We're talking about a complete transformation from the moment a guest arrives to the finest details of their dining experience. So, let's get started. All right, here's our roadmap for today. First, we're going to talk about AI as the next big chapter in hospitality. Then we'll look at some real-world examples, both in the front of the house and back in the kitchen. From there, we'll get into the business side of things, how AI is creating smarter menus and pricing. And we'll wrap up by tackling the big leadership question, how to lead with both technology and that all-important human touch.
Okay, so our first section, AI, hospitality's next chapter. Now, I want to be really clear from the start. When we talk about AI, we're not talking about some far-off sci-fi fantasy with robots running the show. No, this is happening right now. AI is already here, working quietly behind the scenes and, increasingly, right in front of our guests. And its fundamental purpose? Well, it's really all about enhancing that core mission of hospitality, creating an unforgettable guest experience.
So, what does AI actually promise our industry? Well, when you stripped everything else away, it really boils down to these three key areas. First, greater efficiency. Making operations run like a well-oiled machine, which means less waiting for guests and smoother workflows for staff. Second, enhanced personalization. This is huge. It's about moving beyond one-size-fits-all and truly tailoring every aspect of a stay to an individual guest's preferences. And finally, and this one might surprise you, it's about unleashing creativity. It's a really powerful combination.
All right, that's the big picture. But theory is one thing. Let's see what this looks like in practice. We're going to take a walk through the hotel, so to speak. We'll start out front where the guests are and see how AI is transforming those interactions. And then we're going to head to the back of the house, into the kitchen, to see how these tools are revolutionizing operations from the inside out.
Okay, check out this comparison. On one side, you have the traditional way of doing things, relying entirely on staff. And that's wonderful. But what happens when the front desk is swamped? Now look at the other side, AI-powered voice ordering. This means a guest can simply speak their request, whether it's for fresh towels or room service, and it gets handled instantly. The key word here is frictionless. It's about removing those little roadblocks and making the experience absolutely seamless. So that's the front of house. Now for the back. This is where things get really fascinating. In the kitchen, we're seeing the rise of AI computer vision. Think of it as a hyper-intelligent set of eyes that can monitor the entire food prep process. And I want to stress, this is not about replacing chefs. Far from it, it's about giving them superpowers. A system like this can, in real time, spot if a key ingredient is missed on a plate, ensure every single safety protocol is being followed, and help optimize the flow of the kitchen. So, we've seen how AI improves operations and service. But what about the bottom line, the business side of things? Well, that brings us to our next section. How data is being used to build smarter menus and implement smarter pricing. This is where AI truly becomes a strategic partner, helping us make sharp, data-driven decisions that can adapt on the fly to market changes. Let's talk about a concept you're probably already familiar with, even if you don't realize it: dynamic pricing. You see this all the time with airlines and ride-sharing services, right? Well, that same intelligence is now coming to the restaurant menu. Instead of a price being set in stone for 6 months, AI allows us to adjust prices based on real-time factors. Is there a huge citywide event driving up demand? The pricing can reflect that. It's about being incredibly agile and responsive. And it goes even further than just pricing. This is where it gets really creative. We're now seeing generative AI become a kind of creative co-pilot for chefs and marketers. Imagine an AI that can analyze thousands of guest reviews, current food trends, and local ingredient availability, and then suggest new, innovative menu items. It's like having a brilliant data scientist and a passionate foodie working hand-in-hand with your culinary team. It's a total game changer for menu engineering. Okay, we've talked about all this incredible technology. But this brings us to what I believe is the most important part of our discussion today. Because a tool, no matter how powerful, is only as good as the leader who decides how and when to use it. This brings us to the new leadership challenge. How do we effectively lead in an industry that's increasingly driven by technology, without losing that essential human touch? This right here is where you come in. As you move forward in your careers, this question is going to become your guiding star. For every new piece of technology, every new system that's proposed, you have to stop and ask this one simple yet profound question. Does this technology truly enhance the guest experience, or does it distract from it? Is it a bridge that connects us to our guests in new and better ways? Or is it a barrier that gets in the way of genuine human connection? Answering this honestly is the mark of a true hospitality leader.
So what does that leader's role look like? Well, it boils down to these critical responsibilities. First, maintaining guest trust. Guests need to feel that their data is safe and that the technology is there to serve them. Second, upholding brand authenticity. The tech you choose has to feel like it belongs to your brand. And finally, and most importantly, it's about aligning every single tech decision with the core values of hospitality. Because at the end of the day, our business will always, always be about people caring for people.
And this is precisely why your education here is so incredibly valuable. Institutions like Europe Hotel School are at the forefront of this, emphasizing not just the what of technology, but the why and the how. You're being trained to be critical thinkers, to evaluate innovation not just for its novelty, but for its alignment with our foundational values. This ensures that when you're in a position to make these decisions, you'll do so thoughtfully.
So I want to leave you with this final thought, a question that will really define your entire career. As a future leader in this incredible industry, how will you strike that delicate balance between powerful innovation and genuine hospitality? This isn't just a question for a final exam. It's the central challenge that you will be tasked with solving. The answers you find will shape the future of the guest experience for decades to come. I'm excited to see what you'll build.